I'm Clara, and this is the first video of a series that I wanted to start for women that want to be both mindful and successful in sales. I wanted to share first why I'm starting this series, and then on the topic of mindset, which is huge, which I love, and which is the topic for today. So, on the first part, why I'm starting this series, I've been in the company where I work. I'm an account manager in an IT services and staffing company for the past 6 years. When I started, I was one of the only women, or three or four in my office, none in leadership positions, and it was very hard for me to navigate that. I'm also a foreigner in the country where I live, so it wasn't just being a woman. It was also being different from a different culture and navigating sales. And I was looking for content from women that were able to not be too salesy, to be very transparent and mindful and caring, and at the same time have a lot of success. I was looking for that externally, since at the time I wasn't really finding that internally, at least in my office. And also, like, to be fully transparent with you guys, like, when I started, and that's why it's very important to me, and I think it's important that I share that. Like, I've had men tell me in the office that when I've gotten emotional, it would hurt my position in the company, or my the way that people would perceive me and my brand, and to go and hide in the bathroom if I needed to cry, which we used to do, the three women in my office at the time. And so I didn't know if you could, hey, sometimes I feel emotions and I can cry. Does that mean that sales is not for me? Does that mean that I'm not able to be successful and to be able to navigate some of these challenges? And I've been able to have some success. Again, I'm only 6 years in this journey so far. I am not an expert. I haven't been 25, 30 plus years in this field. This is just the first part of my journey, and I wanted to share what I've learned so far, and hopefully navigate some of the next part of the journey with you all. So yeah, that's why it's very important to me, and I'm hoping that I can have an impact on just one person. Would be amazing. And so the topic for today is the topic of mindset, which is a topic I love. I am a fan. I love reading about growth mindset. I think it's extremely helpful, especially in sales, to be able to center yourself in terms of, I can learn, I can grow, I can evolve every day, and I don't need to have everything figured out, because I don't, and I don't think a lot of people do. We're all in a journey together. On the topic of growth mindset, a first book that was very impactful for me is Growth Mindset, actually, by Carol Dweck. I highly recommend it. I will share wherever I can share the name of this book. Again, keep in mind, this is my first video, so even here, I'm going to be inner learning for this series. And but highly recommend this book. It's been huge. The reason why I was also able to learn, like to find this book, was from some of the podcasts that I listened to. School of Greatness by Lewis House, and then Impact Theory by Tom Bilyeu. And I also listened to Women of Impact by his wife, Lisa Bilyeu, which are amazing podcasts. Highly recommend them as well. They do podcast also on a lot of different topics, but they were the first ones that were talking about like identity as a learner, and then growth mindset a lot. And so then I started reading that book by Carol Dweck. I don't want to take the credit from someone else's work. So that is huge in sales. And the reason why I find for us, and what I try to tell my team as well, is that there's so many ups and downs. Like, especially this year, I've had an amazing year last year, but then this year has been very challenging so far. And there's a lot of things that you can't control. Even if you're working hard, even if you're doing a great job, like we're talking again, I mean IT services and staffing, like you have people that quit, you have projects that cancel. We've had projects where they lost budget. where they wanted to take on people internally instead. A lot of things that, I can't necessarily control. And so being able to learn from that and to focus on the future and focus on what you're learning. And if you don't have good conversations, focus on how you can have a better one next time. That was the number one. Then we had the positivity as well and the confidence. That's huge when you talk about mindset as well. Like, how can you be positive? How can you be confident? And especially when you have people that might hang up on you, or you might have a bad day, or you might have a challenging conversation to have internally or externally, since you have to navigate with a lot of parties. And I believe actually that a lot of what you do outside of work really helps your confidence, especially if you can see growth somewhere else. So a huge one that I always recommend, it really helpful for me, is going to the gym in the morning. And the reason why is because if you can see progress in the gym by, hey, I do weightlifting, I recommend it, it could be something different for someone else. Seeing progress in something outside of work is extremely helpful to be able to build that type of confidence that you need to navigate challenging conversation. And again, I think it's very intertwined with growth mindset. Be able to identify yourself as a learner as well as someone that wants to grow and develop really helps in terms of, hey, this was a bad call. What can I learn from it? And move on to the next one. And yeah, so having that type of confidence, it's something that you can build. I believe that it doesn't need to be innate. Apologize for my French accent here if that's not how you pronounce this word. I believe you say innate. So confidence, I don't think needs to be innate. I think you can learn how to be confident by some of the things that you do outside, and also by your character. I've built a lot of confidence by just saying I'm doing something and then I'm actually doing it, for myself, in terms of confidence and trust with myself and with others. That type of relationship that you have with yourself is huge in terms of building your own confidence. And it comes from, hey, if I'm saying tomorrow I'm waking up 20 minutes early and doing a 15-minute workout at home, am I actually doing that? Am I keeping true to my words to myself first? Which then again, it's like, oh, I'm doing that, I'm showing up the way I said that I was going to show up. If I'm saying, okay, I want to do X number of calls today, like, am I actually doing that? Am I actually striving to do what I said I was going to do? If I'm building a plan, am I actually doing that? I think that's what really builds confidence is, said I was going to do something and now I'm actually doing it, and it doesn't matter. Obviously, we want a good outcome, but it's not about the outcome when you're building your confidence. It's about how you're showing up and what type of work you're putting in, and out work, but also outside of work. For example, when it comes to going to the gym, going for a walk in the morning, something that you said that you were going to do to follow through. And I think if someone is struggling to do that, starting really small, very, very small. Like, hey, I struggle to say, I'm going to go for an hour at the gym in the morning. Maybe start with like, hey, I'm going to do a 10-minute walk. I'm going to do a 10-minute walk. And then you actually do it. And then you're going to be like, whoa, I said I was going to do a 10-minute walk. Now I'm actually doing it, starting to build that confidence. And then it's going to come with time. Or, hey, I just want to show up at the gym today. Show up at the gym, putting my shoes on, and I'm going to the gym, and then you come back home. Because it's about what are you telling yourself that you're going to do and actually doing it. Which means don't set like promises with yourself that you know you won't keep. Like, if you only have 45 minutes and you're like, oh, there's no way I'm actually going to wake up in time to have a 45-minute workout, do a 20-minute workout, starting small. And building that confidence by keeping promises to yourself is huge. And again, if this is an interesting topic that you want to dive in more, I'm obviously very passionate about that. So let me know, and I will be very happy to have more conversations about that, and discussions about it with you if you find that it has value. And the third one is resilience. I think the resilience is the reason why I'm still in the company where I'm at today, from some of the ups and downs that I've had so far in my not so long career so far. And being able to have resilience, like I've had, again, like I said, I've had a lot of ups and downs because we're in sales, and you can have a difficult moment, you can be promoted, you have new accounts, you don't have specific accounts, you need to build a territory, you don't necessarily have guidance for that. Like this year I completely switched my focus and territory in a time, and I'm focused on more like IT technology companies in a time that it's challenging to do that. So I think being able to have the resilience is very linked to the three topics, right? Growth mindset, confidence, positivity, and resilience, they're very much linked together. I think some of the resilience, it was another podcast episode actually that I listened to. I think it was from the School of Greatness, where by Lewis House, where the person that he was interviewing was saying, never quit on a bad day. I don't remember, I apologize, I don't remember the name of the episode. It was a few years ago, but that marked me. Never quit on a bad day. Never quit on a bad day. So I was like, okay, never quit on a bad day, because it's very difficult to know, like if you're having a hard time with work, if you're having a challenging week, a challenging month, things are not going quote unquote your way, you've had a couple of things, projects that ended, for example, or you're setting up a plan and it's not exactly, you're not getting responses from emails to clients or from calls to clients or something like that. Being able to go back to, okay, why am I doing this? First of all, like, what's my purpose? Which is why you also need to build a strong purpose on a good day, a strong reason of why you're in this type of role, why you're in this type of career, what you want to learn, how you want to connect, how you want to serve others, or why you want to serve others as well. And then be able to have that type of resilience. I think for me, it's also been whenever I've had a difficult time, I focused on, this is a terrible time. What can I learn from it that in the future, because I'm interested in helping, in leading others. That's very interesting for me. I really like helping others, and so be able to say, okay, this is very difficult time. What can I learn from it, or how can having such a difficult time will help me in the future when I'm leading people that are also having through a tough time, also going through a very similar tough time. And that's part of why I'm doing this today. This is completely out of my comfort zone. I'm not really on social media at all. I've never started anything on YouTube, but I tell myself I'm having a difficult time with work. I feel like I'm working more and it's paying off a little bit less than it was before, which is okay because we're learning and we're growing every day. And I'm going to learn from this period of time. But how can I use it to maybe help one more person that is going through something similar? And I'm trying to do that internally. That's something that I've mentioned already internally. And at the same time, I thought, well, is there someone else in a different company, in a different organization, in a different part of the world that maybe is living something similar, where that I can connect with them in that regard and maybe be of help, or at least start a conversation or start a discussion around a topic like that. So thank you for connecting